Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today the video is about how I got a first class, how I achieved a first class in my undergraduate degree in economics from the University of Northampton. So today I'm going to be sharing with you my tips and advice so you can achieve a first class as well. So the first thing is that I chose a subject that I was really passionate about, that I really enjoyed. So I studied economics at A level, and that's how I was introduced to it. I really enjoyed it. It was about theory, understanding the way the world works. It had a lot of numbers in it as well, had a bit of politics as well. So I really enjoyed it. It was the subject that I felt that actually I could study for 3 years. Yeah, so number one, you want to choose a subject that you're passionate about, that you enjoy, that you can sit through hours of lectures on it. So that's number one. Number two, you want to choose a subject that will actually help you get into the sector that you're trying to get into. So whatever plans you have for the future, whether you want to work in finance, whether you want to work in whatever industry it is, you want to pick a subject that will help you get there. You want to pick a subject that will help you reach the goals that you have for the future. So because it's one thing to pick a subject that you're passionate about, but if you choose a subject that you don't understand why you're doing it, because at the end of the day you might enjoy it, but you have to sit through it for minimum of 3 years, maybe more. And that, like, being passionate about it is not enough to actually become successful in it, because you need to be motivated. You need to understand why I'm going to do this. So I'm doing an economics degree to eventually work in finance, in consulting. So you need to understand why. What are your motivations? What are your goals? What does this degree help you reach? And actually envision yourself reaching that goal. How do you feel? And that will just provide you with that motivation to keep carrying on. So my third tip will be listen in lectures. I know it sounds so simple and basic, but trust me, listening in lectures is underrated. So when you go into lectures, even just a moment of talking to someone, looking at your phone, daydreaming, you've missed like a key information that could be in the exam, that could be a question on in your coursework, or some kind of assignment that you have to do on it. So it's very, very important that you actually listen in lectures. Try to understand what's going on. Jot down as much notes as you can. And another thing is, sometimes your notes may not be accurate because you're trying to listen and you're also writing notes at the same time, so you might not catch everything. So even if you feel like you heard something but you're not sure, still write it down. Things will eventually make sense. The more notes you have, the better, trust me. Even if your notes doesn't seem accurate, you don't even understand it in the moment, trust me, you will understand it later. So that's number one. You want to be able to write down as much as possible in your on your notes. You want to concentrate, you want to listen to the lecturer. Trust me, you will understand a lot more than you think if you actually sit down and listen. The next point will be, try to understand as much as you can. So ask questions. So with me, I'm not shy to ask questions in lesson, because at the end of the day, you want to get that first class. People can laugh at you in lectures. The lecturer can look at you thinking, oh, how can you not know that? Do not feel ashamed to ask questions when you don't understand something. At the end of the day, you're the one that's going to get that first class. You're the one that's looking for that job. So you need to think of you come first, your studies come first, your future comes first. So do not be shy to ask a question. At the end of the day, most people want to know the answer to that question anyway. So ask questions, as many questions as you can. Again, jot down the notes, jot down the answers to that question. This just gives you a better understanding of things. If you're writing down as much notes as possible, if you're asking as many questions as possible, it's very, very unlikely that you're gonna fail the module, because you know more than anyone who wasn't doing any of these things. So yeah, that's very, very important. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions even after lessons, going to meet your tutor one-on-one, outside lessons, or even buddying up with somebody. So I'll observe the class and see who actually understands certain things. There's always that one person that really understands the module, that's really good, that gets really good grades. So you want to be able to talk to that person. You want to be able to understand what they understand. So sometimes students can actually explain things better than lecturers, believe it or not, it's happened before. So yeah, so you want to use all your resources. You want to jot down notes. You want to ask questions. You want to meet the meet the lecturers outside lesson, even if it's for 30 minutes every week, that you meet a lecturer to ask questions to better understand the module. You need to do that. You need to meet students as well. Even in a particular module, I remember even paying one of the students hourly to tutor me on a particular topic. You know, that's how serious I was, and it was worth it because she explained it so much better than the lecturer. I understood it much better. So another tip I want to talk about is mainly about coursework and specifically about writing essays. With most degrees, you're going to write an essay at some point. Actually, often in your modules, you're going to be given essays to write. And sometimes these essays are worth like 50% of the module. So essays are really important. And I'm going to actually give you a tip that I've learned over the years that will actually help you, guarantee you a first class, basically. So one thing is, when you're given a brief for an essay, it's great, understand the brief, but I believe here to be able to actually get a good grade on that piece of work is to go to the lecturer, try and understand the structure of the essay, what needs to be included in the introduction, what needs to be included in the body of the essay, what needs to be included in the conclusion. This is very important because you might write a good essay. You might think, yeah, you're writing down all the things you've learned in your lectures, you've done research, you've found things out there that you believe is relevant, but it actually might not be relevant. So to really get that first class, you kind of want to be very specific, because if the lecturer is going through your work, they're only going to give you a point if they feel like they have their own mark scheme. They have things they're looking for in your essay, and if you don't have those things, you're not going to get a first class. So one thing I would say is go to the lecturer, ask, okay, what kind of things do you want to see in the introduction, the body of the essay, and the conclusion? What kind of theories do you want to see? What kind of theories do you want mentioned in the essay? So particularly for me, in one particular module, I remember when I was in the lecturer told me that actually I want the definition of a multinational company in the introduction of your essay. So immediately, all the people who didn't attend that lecture, they wouldn't have known that. So immediately they would have lost the mark, so she was looking at your introduction, looking for definition of a multinational company, and if she didn't find that in your introduction, then you are not getting that mark. So it's very important to actually find out what does the lecturer want to see in your essay, because in my opinion, I don't believe a brief is good enough to really understand what the lecturer is looking for, because I feel like essays are subjective, and you can do a lot of research out there and find a lot of things. So it's very important that you actually understand what is the lecturer looking for, what kind of things do they want to be included, and trust me, you will not go wrong. Another thing with this is that sometimes I believe with some lecturers, they allow you to look at their plan. So yeah, some lecturers allow you to show your plan for your essay. So I think that's really, really beneficial. So essentially with your plan, it will just be like bullet points. So what kind of things are you including in your introduction? So it's not a full draft, it's just a plan stating, how you plan to write your essay, maybe what sources you're going to use. And, I think is a real good offer to take on, because going to show your plan, the lecturer can actually direct you and put you in the direction that they want you to be in. You should definitely take that on. That's going to give you all the details you need to write that essay. And obviously take that chance to ask them questions. What sources should I use? What theories should I include? What kind of things do you want to see in the introduction? How should I structure it? Is there specific data you want on there? So you want to do your possible best to get that first class. So you need to ask as many questions as you can. Trust me, you cannot go wrong with this. Another tip is to plan ahead. So try and understand, what modules do you have? How much is everything worth? So for example, one module you can have, it could be 50% coursework, 25% exam, and 25% presentation. So you need to understand, okay, if your coursework or your exam is worth 50%, you know that, okay, I need to plan ahead. I need to put in a lot of effort. I need to make sure that I get this amount of mark to achieve this certain mark in the overall module. So you need to plan ahead. You don't want to be that person that, you know, finds out a week before the exam is due that, you know, you have an exam or you have a coursework, because that can happen. Like if you miss lectures, or, you know, some lecturers, they just decide, they just tell you, they just put things up on the university website, the portal, and sometimes they might not actually tell you in a lecture. It's up to you to actually understand what is going on. So you need to make a plan, write down all the modules you have, when are all the due dates for all the assignments and exams. So yeah, so just plan ahead. It helps you plan around your study time. It helps you prioritize, obviously, and yeah, you're just more prepared, you're more relaxed, and you're ahead of everyone else because you know exactly what you need to do to achieve a certain grade. So a tip for exams specifically, what you want to do is look at past exam papers. You want to prepare very, very hard for exam papers. So you want to redo exam papers over and over again until you understand it inside out. Trust me, that's one tip to ace your exams. In certain modules, maybe they don't have past papers. In those situations, I would actually encourage you to go to your lecturer, you know, explain to them that there are no past papers and that you would like questions to, you know, prepare for the exam. You know, more likely they are not going to decline that. They're going to prepare questions for you to practice. So definitely practice questions, exam papers over and over. Do seminar questions over and over again until you're confident and you know it inside out. It's not a joke. To get a first class, you actually have to be on job. So make sure you're actually following all these tips. So yeah, those are all my tips that will guarantee you a first class in generally any subject at university. So if you like this video, please like, comment and subscribe. And if you have any questions, please comment down below. Or if you want to see any more specific content, please do let me know. Bye.